New Zealand companies are actually saying, why don't we make our stuff work together so we can create and show a whole solution, even if the customer doesn't buy the whole solution. It's a marketing pitch we can use.
The area that we've chosen to collaborate in is actually with other smaller companies. What we chose to do is to focus on the design, architecture, development and implementation and running. But what we did is we found other companies that were more or less our size who specialise in security, specialise in infrastructure, who specialise in consulting.
We're really looking at open source collaboration with some of the smaller vendors or vendors that have got capabilities we don't. What we're doing is creating a channel to market for them, hopefully a steady revenue stream which we hope to build over time, sharing our ideas and sharing their ideas to come up with a better product.
One of the big challenges is getting yourself a location, a courier company, an insurance broker, all the things that you need to do to set yourself up, take an inordinate amount of time and end up costing a fair bit of money. That's the sort of assistance that the Kiwi company needs. And yes, that would be well mitigated or spread if you did it collectively with a bunch of companies.
That's where some of the local organisations should be very helpful if people can share experiences. And there's nothing like a track record, you know, so if you're dealing with someone who can show you that they've done this successfully for others in the past, then you should have a lot greater level of confidence.
We take the whole lot, put the whole lot together, make it all work together, which is pretty simple to do when you're all companies in the same city, and then to take the whole product away and say, here's the complete solution and look at the value it can create all together. Don't know whether the customers are going to go, that's great, we'll take the whole lot. Chances are no, because that would be a big sell. But for the potential for them, once they've seen it all working, to just choose the components they like and go, that's great, we'll take that and we'll take that, we still all win.
I was on a Better by Design tour to the States last year and talking with a processed wood manufacturer who'd done exactly that. You know, they'd gone offshore with a product, they couldn't cope with the demand, so they teamed up with a local competitor and now a partner, and they were supplying this product internationally. That was a very good example of cooperative marketing.
In our environment, for instance, you know, looking at Tate's sales process, you know, we spent time looking at their process, they spent time looking at our sales process, our marketing process and our branding and the stages we went through. We've both worked with other smaller operators in the local software development communities to try and create leadership positions for mobile phone apps, for instance. That does work here, and there's just an openness to do that, but you probably have to seek it out.
The parties that come together have got to realise there's going to be an investment first. It's a bit like a bank account, you know, you don't start getting interest until you put money in. We're careful too not to put any cost in that we can avoid. When we look at the opportunity, as I say, it's completely transparent, so our partners can see our costs, we can see those. It's how do you make this work for the client and for us collectively? You know,
it opens up a whole new series of issues in terms of delineations of products and reliance and who gets what part of the sale, and yeah, but assuming you can get through that.
People do need to change the mindset, so they're happy to accept 10% of a larger number instead of just hanging out for 100% of a smaller one.
It is about setting up the governance structure and actually empowering someone who's your coach, someone who's going to say, hey, you and you know, stop fighting about whose problem it is. We remember that the principle here is that we're in this together. There's a lot of maturity required as well, so it's about being able to focus on the problem, not on personal issues or taking things personally.
Software has to all work together, and there is no point in building something proprietary and saying these are the rules, because no one else will work with you or connect you, and so your business model falls apart pretty quick.
Tough to do, tough to find companies that are aligned enough, that make enough sense to pull themselves together and then take themselves over.
Once you get the opportunity, it's almost too late to work out how you're going to go about working together. There's been parties in our ecosystem who've said, well no, you know, let's wait till we do get an opportunity and work on it. My answer to that is no. We want to be focused on the opportunity when we get it, not how we're going to relate to each other.
I think it's really positive from the point of view of we're collaborating in New Zealand. You go overseas and you've got far more credibility because you're stronger, because there's 4 or 5 of you with, you know, companies behind every one of them presenting a solution. It looks better.
I mean, I think it is reshaping. I think we always are going to struggle for scale, so we have to work together, and we always have to find new ways of doing things. But we can do that, even with the small scale we've got, we can do that, but we do have to work together to do that.